Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Jason Blaha's Fitness here, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about protein bars and adding protein to junk food. But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below and drop me a comment, I would appreciate it so much. Thank you. Let's get over into this topic. This is one of those that I'm always kind of laugh at, and I see people who do it and they'll buy their protein bars, and you'll see fitness influencers pushing this stuff. Look at this bar, this Quest bar, all this stuff, and you have to look at it and go, why are you people pushing this? Why are you selling out to this? But I guess maybe they're getting sponsorships and kickbacks, and at the end of the day, none of it really makes sense to have all these protein bars and protein laden junk food. People act like, hey, because we added protein to stuff, that it's just magically going to be helpful to you, right? They act like it's going to make it this amazing health food that's going to help you build muscle, but it's like it's still junk food. Just because it has protein in it, it doesn't mean anything. And a lot of times it's not even amazing protein they're adding. I get it if it's whey or something, but you could just drink a protein shake, okay? And I think that we're missing the bigger picture here, that again, this is an example of marketing, right? This is just companies that make junk food looking to sell a product to cash in on the trend that more people are out there trying to be healthy or trying to work out. Or the more ironic thing, this is something that I noted before, is, that tendency of people who don't live a healthy lifestyle and don't work out, having protein shakes. Like, I've known guys in the past who you look and they have protein powders and protein shakes right there on the fridge, right there on the countertop, and they drink their protein shake, and you're like, oh, I didn't know you lift. Like, oh, well, I don't really lift. Like, I don't really go to the gym or take it serious, or like, I occasionally do some push-ups or something, and they're not even active, but they really and truly think that drinking a protein shake is going to help them build muscle. Okay? That's what's fascinating to me. I've seen people on pretty much, standard American diets who they get a lot of protein already. Let's be clear, like most Americans get over 100 grams of protein. They're already on a high protein diet. For all practical purposes, they're not really getting any benefits from consuming more. They get plenty, especially for their purposes. And people say, but what about protein overfeeding and fat loss? Yeah, but they're eating junk food. It's not going to work. But I've known guys who do that. Or I remember when I was much younger, this again shows the power of marketing with this stuff. As a young man, back in my 20s, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, and, we rode Triceratops and Brontosauruses, or many of you listening. I was in my 20s, and I've walked into a place with some bros I knew, and it's like, three dudes had a 3-bedroom apartment, all went to school and everything in their 20s. And you go in there, and it's like, man, they had all these different protein. You look up there, they had 3 different brands. They had Muscle Tech, Isopure, all this stuff right there on the counter next to all their alcohol and vodka. And you look, and it's like, the fridge is full of pizza and beer, and there's alcohol everywhere, but then they got their protein shakes. Just kind of right there. And it's like, they don't leave anything remotely related to a healthy or fit lifestyle. They're literally pizza and beer bros, doing their college thing. And, there's like 6 different types of vodka on the counter next to it. But they had their protein shakes. It was just, I remember seeing that. And they also had other supplements up there. There was like men's multivitamins, and they had creatine up there. It was like, it was rather comical in retrospect. But, I remember seeing things like that. But it's the same thing now with this whole protein. It's like, I saw one, and I kind of looked at it, and it was like Quaker or someone. I commented on their Facebook under it, like, are you guys serious? They're saying they're promoting this high protein yogurt. It's maple and brown sugar, but it's like it had added protein. They were marketing it as a protein source because they've added protein. But then it's got maple and brown sugar. For those who don't understand what brown sugar is, we're not talking about the ZZ Top song. But brown sugar is just sucrose with right? It's just sucrose with like a maple added to it, you know? It's still just table sugar. You know, and it's like they took the whole idea of what bodybuilders and people have done forever, and they when they're making oats, you make protes. Protes is a really common bodybuilder thing, right? For those not aware, I do protes sometimes, right? Where you mix protein with your oats. Works really, really well. But then they're pre-mixing it, but then they're still throwing sugar in it. And it's like, why did you need that? I mean, you've taken the whole bodybuilder idea of let's put a little whey protein in our oatmeal, and then you still just added table sugar. You made it back into a junk food. Okay? But then we see the protein bars or protein infused cereal or protein now candy bars added to extra protein. I saw some stuff with that coming through, like regular protein bar. They might have been Snickers or something. Like, this is junk food, and it's not going to make it healthy because you add some protein. And here's the other thing. If you really, and so the same thing with some of these protein bars, you look at them and they're just full of junk, and it's like, look at all the piles of sugar alcohol, and they're trying to make it sweet. It'll be loaded full of sugar alcohols. And it's like, you really think that that's good for you? Do you think that's good for your gut? Because keto people love that. Like, they're looking for ways to make junk food that doesn't kick them out of ketosis, right? So the net carbs on the sugar, that's like been a big thing in those circles, the junk food keto, right? Do you really think those sugar alcohols are good for your gut health? Plus, you know how many people get stomach cramps and diarrhea from eat too many of those protein bars. That's what happens. But it's like, why can't we just eat protein foods? Okay, let's assume you really wanted a candy bar. This is what I would say to people. You were probably better off drinking a protein shake with a normal candy bar than loading up on these silly protein bars. They're still just full of junk. You look, they're always extra refined fats. There's always sugar, alcohol. There's always a bunch of junk thrown into these protein bars to make them palatable. And then they're always chewy and rubbery. And it's like, so you're basically getting an inferior tasting crappy candy bar, just trying to get some protein. If you really wanted a candy bar that bad, just go eat a candy bar and drink protein, I guess. And not that I'm endorsing eating junk food. I don't. But it also begs the question of, why does everyone assume because we add a bunch of, protein to a hyper palatable, like a ultra processed food, that is now marketed and people are buying it. Oh, I buy this one cereal because of the protein. And it's like, but it's still junk food. Like, I'll look at it. It's full of high fructose corn syrup or table sugar and just junk, refined carbohydrate. But they've added protein. It's like, you get protein from your milk. Like, if you really wanted a cereal, fine, go get a really healthy one with some fiber or some grape nuts or something. If you insist that you need cereal, and if you want more protein in the regular milk, that's why you have stuff like Fairlife and Mootopia, and, that are much, much higher protein. Or you could add some protein powder. I mean, if you really wanted that route. But here's the other question. Why can't we just eat whole foods? Like, can you add protein to just some oatmeal if you wanted a cereal-like thing in the morning? And add some fruit to it. Okay? Not that inconvenient. If I get minute oats, they're quick. Throw them in the microwave a minute. You're still good. You're still getting all that fiber. But these things are not healthy. It's junk food. Right? And I see the same thing, some of these granolas and other stuff I put up. Oh, it's got all this protein, but you look, it's like, it's still just junk food. It's still calorie-dense junk. Like, this is not healthy. And I get it. If you need more energy, it's really easy to get minimally processed foods that are still healthy if you struggle with calories, because that's the whole point with the granola. I just eat some natural peanut butter. Problem solved. But the thing is, everyone's trying to get all this, and it's like, just eat high protein foods. Look, you want to ultra feed, you want to overload protein. Add 2 pounds of chicken breast. Done. Don't tell me you can't make chicken breast taste delicious. I do it all the time. Worst case, squirt some mustard on it. and just eat it. It's that simple, people. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.